Hello, welcome back. I'm curious, were you able to eliminate some of your stressors after our discussion last week? First, were you able to actually swap, perhaps with your spouse, so you didn't have to do the stressor at all? If not, were you able to figure out a way to do the stressor less often each month, or in a different way to make it less troublesome, less aggravating? If not, were you able to look at it in a more positive light? If so, please go on to the next stressor that bothers you each month and see if you can do a better job with that as well. Asking yourself the same questions. Can I eliminate it altogether? If not, can I do it less times each month or in a different way, or can I look at it differently? Today, we move on to an incredibly important week, week 6, playing to our strengths. I want to start out with a quote from Oliver Wendell Holmes. The greatest tragedy is not the great waste of natural resources, although that is tragic. The biggest tragedy is the huge waste of human resources because the average person goes to his grave with his music still in him. It's true, we're all born with certain God-given talents. We're able to do certain things a lot better than other people, and usually those things we enjoy more as well. The problem is we spend very little time during our lives in our special place. That's what I call it. Why? Most of us take the first job offered after high school or college and say to ourselves, in a year or two or three, we'll quit that job and take a job that is more to our liking. But we never do. 30, 40 years go by and we're still in the same job that we never should have taken in the first place, and we really don't like what we're doing every day, 8 to 5 or even 8 to 6. With hobbies, same thing. We are born, we have certain things we love to do, but throughout life we tend to give them up for different reasons. For example, let's say you love to ski. You skied all as a childhood and as a teenager and a young adult, but you married a woman from the South. I married a woman from South America. She never skied. She doesn't like to ski. She doesn't like to go up north when I'm skiing and sit in the ski chalet. So she doesn't go, and I don't really want to go by myself. She prefers, and now I do as well, going to the beach on a vacation. So I haven't skied in years. It's something I'd probably love to do. I've gotten away from one of my special places, something I do well that I enjoy to do. So our goal today is to get you back to your special place. Get you back to the place where you're doing things that you were meant to do from the day that you were born. How do we do that? There are 3 ways, 3 steps that we take to get you back to playing in your special place. The things that God meant you to do from the day that you were born. The first thing I want you to do when this episode ends is take out a piece of paper, and I want you to write down the 5 things that you love to do the most in the world. It could be anything. As I said, it could be skiing, it could be playing the piano. Many people, it's deep discussions with people. They love to have deep discussions. The 5 things you love to do the most. Then I want you to take out another piece of paper and write down the 5 things that you feel you're better at than most people. And then I want you to circle the things that are the same on both papers. The thing that you are best at and you love to do the most, if it's on both papers, the same thing, that's your special place. That's where you're meant to be during this lifetime. And again, if we talk about Oliver Wendell Holmes' quote, we don't want you to go to your grave with your music still left in you. We want to get the music out of you. So first, you write down what you love to do the most, 5 things. What you feel you're the best at, 5 things. You circle the things that's the same. Next, you come up with 3 things you can do today to start moving in the direction for each of the things that you circled, to spend more time doing those things. So let's take an example. Let's say that you love to sing. You sang when you were young, you think you have a beautiful voice, but you haven't sang in years, but you would love to sing again. What could you do to bring singing back into your life? Well, perhaps you could, first off, join a choir. I know in my temple, we have a beautiful choir. I'm told most of the people in the choir are not Jewish, and I believe that they are actually paid to help us in the choir. Or if you really enjoy musicals and acting, you could join a musical. So you could sing in a choir or sing in a musical. The other thing that you could certainly do, which I think would be fun and maybe a little less intense, is karaoke. Maybe once a month you find a karaoke bar and you go there and you sing with friends or family. It could really be a great thing to do. Also, you could sing to little kids. You could join a little group of nursery school kids and sing along with them when they have a sing-along. Or you could sing in elderly homes. They would love to have people come and sing to them. So that's 3 things you could do immediately if you wanted to sing. And maybe you come up with some other ones that would be more to your liking. Let's say that you also love, as I do, people. And you love to help people. And you love to mentor people. That's what you'd like to spend more of your time doing. Well, perhaps the first thing you could do is be a big brother or a big sister. That's the easiest thing. It's one-on-one, and you could change a child's life. Maybe you say, I like that idea, but I'd like to be involved with more people. You could look into groups where you could use more of your special talents. We all have special talents. And you could actually teach people and mentor people, maybe in a group of 20 at a time, with your special talent. I hope you'd also consider, if that's your talent, to actually change jobs. And I know that can be very difficult for people financially. But as we talked about with the Oliver Wendell Holmes quote, don't wind up at the end of your day. I know there was a wonderful piece. It said the 5 things that the people who were the oldest regret the most in their life. They interviewed 90-year-olds. And a lot of them said, I wished I had picked a job that I enjoyed more rather than just going for the money. So think, is there a way I could switch jobs so I spend more of my time mentoring people or teaching people? There's a lot of need out there for companies to have people like that. If you say, I just can't do it right now, I've got 3 kids in college and I need the money, I can't take a pay cut. So you figure in 8 years you won't have kids in college. Start preparing yourself now. Start taking some classes so that when you have that interview for that new job in 8 years, you have a better resume. So let's go back and clarify exactly what I'd like you to do for this week. I want you to take out a piece of paper and write down the 5 things that you like to do the most. I want you to write down the 5 things that you think you're the best at. I want you to circle the things that are on both lists the same. I want you to come up with 3 things that you can do to move in that direction, like with the singing. I said first, perhaps singing in a choir or a musical. Second, karaoke. Third, to little kids or older people. And that's what I want you to do. Hopefully you'll have 2 or 3 things you can work on. So that's it for today. We're going to come back next week with we're going to have the rubber meet the road next week. You're going to decide just how much you want to be happy and if you're willing to make some critical choices, because we're going to focus on people in your life who are positive, people in your life who are negative, and we're going to ask you to make some changes with people who are negative. Have a great week. I'll talk to you next Tuesday.